What's up, soldiers? WildBlueYonder. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about CDCs, which are career development courses in the United States Air Force. CDCs are a series of tests and course material that will advance your education and your experience in your career. My CDCs for my job were 4 volumes long. Each volume was about 100 pages long. Each volume had about 10 chapters, so each chapter was about 10 pages. Not only do you have to read and understand a lot of the things in your CDCs, you also have to answer many questions. This pretty much works like a workbook. At the end of each chapter, which is about every 10 pages or so, there will be about 10 or 15 questions that you have to answer. These questions are called self-test questions, and they're accumulated and provide the foundation for your end-of-course exam. At the end of each volume, which is every 100 pages, you take an end-of-volume test. So basically, you test on each volume. Once you pass, then you move on to the next volume. Now, CDCs are completely self-paced. You can take as much or as little time as you want. Well, there is a time limit. You can't take more than a year, but nobody takes that long. If you take that long, you're really falling behind. So, once you're done with your 4 volumes, or however many volumes you have for your job, you're going to take a final EOC test. Now, your EOC is completely closed book, so you don't have any help from your CDCs. You're going to have to do it all on your own. My suggestion to you is to study all of your self-test questions. Your self-test questions provide most of the questions and most of the foundation for your EOC. Now, this isn't me helping you cheat. This isn't me giving you answers. This is me giving you tips. For my specific situation, that seemed to be the course. That seemed to be the correlation there. So I highly suggest that you go over the material, you learn the things that they definitely pointed out in those self-test questions. There's a reason why they made those questions that way. However, all the answers aren't going to be in your self-test questions, so you also have to look at the other material. There might be questions in your EOC that were never in your self-test questions, but they are in your CDC somewhere. So you just have to kind of read everything, treat everything with the same amount of attention. Now, you're going to do a lot of studying. You're going to have to be studying almost every day. If you do this, you'll finish them pretty fast. You can study at the library, you can study in your room, you can study at work. The only catch with work is that it's up to your supervisor. If your supervisor says, hey, we have a little bit of downtime right now, you sit over there, you finish your CDCs, we're going to be over here working. However, this is all up to your supervisor. If you don't have time to actually study on your own and there's a lot of work to be doing, then you're going to have to provide effort with the work. So this kind of takes away about 8 hours of your day, and you're going to have to do a lot of studying on your free time. If you really want to finish early, you're just going to have to really study your butt off on your free time. When you get to your first base, your supervisor or someone you know might tell you that if you finish your CDCs early, it'll be beneficial for senior airmen below the zone. Senior airmen below the zone is basically a program that promotes airmen first class 6 months earlier to senior airmen. So you have to do a lot of extra stuff. You have to be a really stellar airman to be selected to be promoted early. And something that you can use to make yourself look like a better airman is to finish your CDCs early. So say you do really well on your EOC, you finished it early, you got a really high score like 95 plus, and then you use that as a bullet to improve your candidacy for senior airman below the zone. That's how it's supposed to work, but really, it doesn't really matter. There's so many other things that can go into that. It doesn't really matter. As long as you pass, that's the big goal, because if you fail, you can actually be kicked out of the Air Force. And I'd rather you pass it with a 75 and you took 4 months than you fail it because you rushed it and you tried to just get that high score. Like I said, it's self-paced. Take your time, make sure you know the information, make sure when you go in for that EOC, the final EOC, that you really know your information. But that's pretty much all I have to say about CDCs. It's a huge first step in the Air Force. You learn a lot, it's a lot of stress, and you don't have a lot of free time. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.